Okay, it is time to start our regular council meeting with a roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Here.
Commissioner Barwick.
Here.
Commissioner Webb.
Here.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Here.
Mayor Absher.
Here. If you'd all stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, it'll bring us to item number 3 on the agenda, which is our public comments, audience to visitors section. And this is the opportunity for anybody who wants to speak to the council to do so, subject to 2 different ordinances that govern this part of the meeting, both of which are up on the counter here where that flower arrangement is at. So would anybody like to address the council? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to our consent agenda. We have 4 sub-items, A, B, C, and D. Does anybody from the council want any of those items removed and voted upon separately? Anyone in attendance like any one of those items, A, B, C, or D, voted upon separately and removed from the consent agenda? Okay, hearing no objections, we'd entertain a motion. I would entertain a motion to pass the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to pass this consent agenda, items A through D.
Second that.
Okay, any discussion on any of these? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Sir, I noticed that you went up and got those after we had passed. Did I go too fast? Did you want to speak to the council?
You're all right.
Okay. All right, under new business. There is a little bit of an echo. You guys hear an echo? Is it just us?
There's an echo.
Yeah.
There's an echo?
A little bit.
Did you see what I did? Is it because we're...
Yeah, I think it's gone away now.
Hello? Okay. Well, I
Uh,
heard it then too. Maybe I'm speaking too close to the microphone.
That's it.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Okay, item 5 under new business, street department. You want to talk about this? Doug's
Yes.
here. and talk about it?
Yeah, we got the opportunity to get a good trade in on our Tracto that one we have now is, I think, about 25 years old. So at any rate, we did get bids, and you'll see in your packet, the best net value, net cost was with Fabic, and that was for a 2022 Cat 315 GC with 4 hours, that includes a thumb in the brackets, and it's $184,890 with a trade of $30,000 for our old 315 trade-in. So that would be a net of $154,890. With that, I would make a motion to approve the purchase of that machine.
I would second that. Anything you want to add, Doug? No. Any discussion on this or questions on this item? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin.
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Under item 6A, first of all, we have a typo or technical change there. Ordinance 3780 should read 3786. We just misnumbered that. The ordinance itself is the same. You guys will recall last council meeting, we had a public hearing or public meeting beforehand relative to the residential TIF 2. And as we announced then, there will be a second one of these scheduled. And that's what this ordinance does. Which it will be April 25th, 5 p.m. think there's any need to set that date earlier, given the I don't know if there'll be as many people here as were the last time, and maybe they won't come back because it's more of the same, but it went kind of long. Now's the time we could change that, I suppose. What do you guys think?
I don't think it'll be as extended.
Well, as long as your understanding just may bleed over into the council time. Okay, we'll leave it as is. So April 25th is the next one of these meetings. And we'll just leave that set at 5 o'clock, ordinance 3780. I entertain a motion to pass ordinance 3786, I'm sorry.
I'd make a motion, we would approve ordinance 3786, setting the date and time for public hearing regarding proposed residential tip.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 6B, something we've had on the drawing board literally for a long time. Glenn, do you want to describe this project again, just since it's been a while, and would you mind?
Yes.
What all's entailed with this?
This is being done in conjunction with the Fifth Street intersection design, the signalization of that intersection, and it's an improving of the north side, which you awarded at the last council meeting. And this is on the south side, and it's basically a widening of West Main Street from near where the state office building entrance is, going east towards Fifth Street. And instead of taking the traffic and as it exists now and merging it into the 3 lanes, we're adding 1 lane. So people coming on an easterly direction can get in that lane and make the right turn into the entrance that goes to the development that the developer has there at the VA property. At that same time, the developer will be constructing his entrance beyond the right-of-way line, so that traffic on that additional lane being added won't run into a dead-end spot there. They'll merge them back over into 3 lanes. And this is the widening of the West Main Street from the regional office building entrance east to the intersection line up with Fifth Street.
But be clear, this is not the rest of the intersection that we'll also have to let bids for.
Well, you've already done that.
That's right, I'm sorry, but this is just that right turn lane.
Right turn lane.
As you're heading.
Correct.
Okay.
South side of Main Street.
What did I say?
The south side of Main Street.
Okay. Since you're here, how come, did we anticipate these other 2 bidders? There's 4 bid slots on this
They
tabulation.
took plans. Marion Concrete just missed the bid. He had the time messed up. He
Oh.
wanted to put in a bid. The other guy was a sub to, I believe, Simon's.
Oh, okay.
They didn't bid.
Thank you, Glenn.
I'd make a motion to approve the contract award for widening of West Main, Fifth Street intersection. And that contract will go to E.T. Simons, low bid of $147,000, or $147,76.48.
Second that.
Okay, any questions on this? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item C, I'm going to have been asked to table that this evening. Doug Phillips with the street department has a little housekeeping thing to do with IDOT on this that he wants to chase down before he asks us to approve this. So I'm going to move on to item D. We talked about this on rezoning last meeting on this new subdivision, small subdivision off of Wildcat Drive. Got the plat. Chico, since you're here, I'm going to ask you a question about this. I've had one phone call of someone that was at least on the surface, upset that this was going in, and I think we tried our best to answer their questions, but have you had a lot of feedback one way or the other? Have you had a lot of calls? I'm just curious more than
I've had
anything else.
none.
Okay. Okay, lucky me, I guess. Before we can discuss this, we're doing a motion.
I could answer any of their answer, or answer any of the questions that they have.
Okay. I think it was more of the question I fielded anyway was more of a technical.
Sure.
How did we go about with the zoning board notifications and that stuff, which I had Kathy from the zoning office talk to them.
Yeah.
I'd make a motion that we would approve ordinance 3781, accepting a subdivision platted as Wildcat Cove subdivision.
I'll second.
Any discussion on this? Are these all spec houses, or do you have some of these sold already, or?
I don't have any of them sold. My wife and I are thinking about building our house there, but the others would probably be spec homes.
Okay.
What size houses are you going to put in?
What we're gonna do, about 1,700 on up. That's the same covenants in Jim Reichert's subdivision, Lake Park Estates. His requirements are, I believe it's 1,600 and up. And the two homes that I've just built there on Eugene are right at 1,750 and 1,812. Yeah, but on a couple of those lots, we were looking at possibly walkout basements with 1,300 down, 1,300 up, so a total of 2,600. If it's possible, we're thinking about that.
Got a motion and a second?
Yes.
Correct. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. Item 6E, ordinance 3785. This is for the new Smoothie King that's going out in the Route 13 TIF. I'll just make that my motion to approve ordinance 3785, a Route 13 TIF redevelopment agreement with Southern Illinois SK LLC.
Second that.
Any questions on this one?
I've got a question. Are they going to keep the other one open as far as you know?
I don't think so. I think they're expanding. I think maybe this one was smaller than, I don't know actually, but I think maybe you wanted a bigger one, so. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. Item 7A.
I'd like to make a motion that we would approve the collective bargaining agreement between the Marion Professional Firefighters, local number 2977, and the city of Marion to expire on April 30 of 2025. Second that motion.
Okay, any questions on this? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?
Yay. Item 8A, you recall, we had a extensive presentation and discussion about the possibility of allowing for shipping containers to be utilized in a commercial setting. Wendy and Cody and I worked pretty hard on this ordinance that you've got in your packet, and then we had reached out to a couple of people that are in that field, in that industry. We got some good feedback from one of them, and I think we even incorporated a change that they recommended. And then the second person got back with us today, and you've got their feedback here. So we didn't get that until today, and I think there's just at first read, there seems to be some things of concern that have merit. Nothing that's going to prevent us from doing this if you should so choose to do so, but I think there's some good points that he makes. So I had sent a note to Wendy earlier today and said I think we need to digest all of this and make sure we even understand some of these things and incorporate that perhaps into the ordinance and let you guys do the same and chew on this stuff a little bit. So again, if you don't mind, I'd like to get this right rather than go at it 2 or 3 times and try to meet everybody's concerns and objections and such, so I'm gonna ask to table that ordinance tonight, and we'll go at it again. Item 8B, we talked about this a couple of meetings back in terms of, I think at that point in time, it was still not determined whether OSHA was going to move ahead or not. They had stayed their own prosecution, if you will, of the vaccine. They have now removed, I don't know what the right term is.
They've withdrawn.
Withdrawn.
Yes.
Withdrawn their guidance or mandate on that. So that's kind of what we had indicated, Wendy had indicated the last time this came up a couple of weeks ago, that we probably ought to wait rather than repealing this until we knew exactly what they were going to do or not going to do. So they basically have vacated that altogether, and so that we don't end up now having something that's inconsistent with OSHA, we need to repeal that ordinance. Anybody?
Sure. Go ahead.
I'd make a motion to approve ordinance 3783. That would repeal ordinance 3767, which established the city's OSHA vaccine and testing policy.
I would second that.
Okay, any questions on this, especially for Wendy? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. Item 8C, this one I always have to ask and remind myself exactly what this is. I'll ask Cody to do so, because I'm still not 100% fluent on this. We do it every year, but sounds onerous anyway.
So I believe this is a per capita private activity bonding authority that the city's granted each year. Again, that's based on our per capita numbers. To my knowledge, the city's never used this bonding authority. So the Southern Illinois Economic Development Authority always asks us to cede that private activity bonding authority over to them. Typically, if we're going to go to the bond market, we do so in the public sphere. General obligation bonds, and so that's the difference between these two funding mechanisms. So since we don't use this portion of it, the Southern Illinois Economic Development Authority would like the ability to take our allotment and use it for their own purposes.
Okay, I'll move to approve ordinance 3784, ceding the city's private activity bonding authority to the Southern Illinois Economic Development Authority.
Second.
Any questions on this one? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Steckland,
Yay.
Mayor Absher.
Yay. On to commissioner reports. Who wants to start first? Deb, do you have anything tonight?
I don't. Nope.
Commissioner Barwick?
I do not.
Commissioner Steckland?
I
Is
do.
trivia night?
This is trivia night. Yes.
Outstanding.
No, bigger crowd. Okay, so water department, last meeting we had 7 new taps, 3 updated services, 4 leaks repaired, 10 repaired meter barrels, and 10 happy workers. Okay. For the month of January, we had 254 Julie location calls. It does. Well, they're happy because they don't have to go back in those meter barrels. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay. I thought you were trying to read my trivia answer there.
No.
Hide that out. Okay. Couple of things on community events. First of all, I wanted to give a kudos out to the Boynton Center and the chili fundraiser. It was delicious the other night, so thanks to all that worked on that. Marion Elks this Saturday, March 5th. The Elks are having their Soup for Sherry fundraiser. The doors open and tasting begins at 3. They will have raffle items, music, and more. All proceeds will go towards Sherry Cash. For any additional information, be sure to contact the Marion Elks 800 Club. Marion Civic Center has great lineups. This month is no different. March 11th, the Grammy Award-winning Gatlin Brothers will be performing live at the Marion Cultural and Civic Center. For more information, be sure to check out the website at marionccc.org. And I would encourage you, if you haven't looked at the upcoming shows there for this spring, please do so. It is so varied and so great. Josh and everybody over there are doing just gangbusters. I mean, there's something for everybody. If you're into comedy, like I am, there are some fantastic comedians coming there, national comedians, clean comedians, which are nice, and they're so funny. Go on to Comedy Central, just listen to some of their bits, and you'll buy tickets, guarantee you. So anyway, trivia. Let's get to that. Sorry. This is a question: how much water is used on average for an automatic dishwasher cycle?
1.34 gallons.
That's really close.
2 gallon.
I was gonna say 22, I'm way off.
The average is 9 to 12 gallons. Now, let's follow that up. What's the average use to wash dishes by hand?
2 gallons.
Same amount of dishes?
Same amount of dishes. Same amount of dishes. 10 to 20 gallons.
Wow.
So that commercial you see on TV that says you save water by running your dishwasher overnight may not be too far off. So there you go. That's all I have.
Do you have any trivia, Jim? I'm falling behind.
Just crude facts. No, still working on sidewalks and street department. With all the recent rains, we've had a lot of drainage issues. We're doing a good job on trying to get some of the pipes reopened and replaced if necessary, so been keeping them busy. Cemetery's been busy as well out there with burials and doing their normal winter maintenance of the cemetery. So that's all I have, Doug, unless I missed anything.
No. Drainage is going well.
Thank you.
I have one thing I forgot. This is a community service thing, or a plea from basically the Water and Sewer Department. I've noticed a huge uptick in clogs due to Clorox wipes, baby wipes, things like that being flushed down the commode. If you can, think about that. We've seen it for the last year and a half with COVID, especially and all that, but we also see it every time new daycares go up, things like that. So just think about that if you have any other method of disposing of those other than flushing them down, because they get caught in the sewers and they clog them up. So that's all I have.
Okay. I don't have a commissioner report, but I'll move under item 10 on miscellaneous, the announcement to make to you guys, but to the public as well. So we've had several discussions and several discussions with Carmen that's here about ARPA and when we would be ready to talk more detail about that. I think Cody and I finally have our head around the new set of rules that supposedly are the final ones and have a better grasp on what kinds of things that we all have sort of talked about it individually that we would like to do with some of that money. So between now and the next meeting, I'll be communicating to you a list of potential projects that we think qualify under the funds. One bucket of that is going to be, at least what I will propose, is that we set aside a certain amount of that money for grants to 501c3s in town to do certain things. And we don't have all those rules yet put together, but the framework, if you will, or I do want to describe that just so that people that are interested in something like this can be thinking about it. We'll have more detail next council meeting, like I said, and it would be up to these guys whether any of this is approved. I'm just saying this is what I will propose. As it relates to the public grant section, again, this 501c3, we would have the idea or the framework is we'll have a application, and you can apply for one of two different kinds of grants. We'll call it restricted and unrestricted grants. A restricted grant would be something like if they want to do a new program. That could be anything from, use something real common, food assistance, for example, or something like that, if there was existing, something very specific to do for the community. Unrestricted would be for a 501c3 that's just had economic hardship through the pandemic, and they would just be applying for assistance, if you will. So restricted, unrestricted, that's the two buckets. From there, what I'd like to propose, which is the other reason I wanted to bring this up, is 'cause this is not all settled, is have a committee of 4 people that will score these individually. We've kind of come up with a little testing or scoring rubric like this. You just simply 1 through 3, and I think 8 different categories, would be a total of 24 different points, and then send those back. Cody would probably aggregate those, and then we would rank those. But I'm going to propose next time that, so I want you guys to think of which 2 you'd like it to be. I'd like 2 members from the council to be on this committee. I'd like to find a CPA out of the community, just because there's some financial reporting that's involved in some of this stuff, and I want to make sure if a 501c3 needs some advice or help on something like that, we've got that resource. And then, I hate to mention this because I forgot to ask her, but maybe somebody like Karen from the Chamber of Commerce, or somebody that's not in the city apparatus or something like that, or it could be somebody else from outside the community. But none of those people that are scoring could obviously be a part of an organization that was applying. So that's another key consideration that we need to do. But anyway, so that's just sort of a heads up. So I will communicate, or Cody will communicate, a list of these potential project buckets of projects with at least my proposal on how we divvy up this money, and then we can discuss this in far more detail at the next council meeting, including this whole assistance program, and we'll get those materials to you, and the grading scale and things like that to you, so you can be thinking about it. I don't want to catch you off guard or by surprise, but I want to give the public an opportunity to be thinking about this too. So you have any questions on that, or, okay, I don't have a timeline yet. We're still working on some of the details, but it should be this week. I think we'll get some of that out to you guys.
What was our total on that again?
$3,268,436, I think.
3468.
Dang it. What did I say?
326.
Oh, dang. 3,468,436, is that right? Okay. 3,400,000. We already, and incidentally, we've got half of that money now. We will not get the second tranche of that until, I presume, May. I think that's what they announced. So that we're close enough to that we'll have that, and we can make some decisions and so forth. So, okay, anything else to come before the council? Miscellaneous. Did you come to make an announcement and miss the announcement portion?
Yes.
Would you like to make your announcement?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm running late.
We do charge a late fee.
Good evening to the council. Appreciate Mayor Mike Absher and the commissioners. And what I've come to talk about today is on May 21st, the Young Hearts with Goals and Purpose will be celebrating our 23rd annual Young Hearts with Goals and Purpose banquet. And the banquet consists of awarding children, spotlighting them for the things that they do, the good things, achievements that they have made. And it's a wonderful event. And the purpose while I'm here tonight is, for several years the council have sponsored 10 tables of $120 a table. And so, and a lot of them will go to the Boyd Street and into the community. But then tonight I would like to ask for 20 tables. Reason being, I talked to Alex, he's over the Boys and Girls Club here in the city. I talked to Tina Carpenter in Carbondale, that's over the Boys and Girls Club. And when we talk, they're gonna have a big celebration on tomorrow. I plan to be there, because those children that stand out, those are the ones we wanna bring to the banquet. We can't honor all of them, but the ones that, excuse me, the ones that stand out, we will acknowledge them. And so, with saying, I would like the council, if you all would, to sponsor 20 tables. And each table is $120, and therefore we be able to help more than children in the different clubs, you know, Boys Club, Boys and Girls Club, and the Boyd Street Community Center. And this banquet, generally, last year with the pandemic, we had about almost 250, almost 300 people there. We have had close to 600 people at this banquet on a good day, you know. Because if you ever come, you want to come back. And that's the reason why I encourage the council to come. See what you're putting your money into. I thank Mayor Absher for coming. And the city also, with you all sponsoring the table, you do get a 4-page and an ad book. And also, you do get a trophy on a plaque on that night to let you all know we appreciate you. So if you all would, I would love for you all to sponsor 20 Table. This is one of the largest events in the city of Marion. The Young Hearts with Goals and Purpose Banquet. It has diversity in it. All our children is special. I tell them all our children is special. That's what we reach out to. And this year, we're gonna have a segment in there. I really planned that it'll work the way I want it to work. Marion has done wonderful in sports this year. And I want to bring them in the banquet and acknowledge them, the coach and that team, and give them plaques. Let them know we in the city of Marion, looking at what they do and appreciate what they do. Not just basketball, we do academics. Anything children is doing good and need to be recognized, those are children we're looking for. I tell them we can't do them all, but we do best we can. So if y'all sponsor us, we might do a whole lot this year. 20 tables, if you all would. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your space. We appreciate it.
Just to be clear, you said it was $120 a table?
Yes.
So you're asking for $2,400?
$2,400, yes.
Okay. I know we have a line item in our budget for your event, but it's not $2,400, so we'll have to see if we can
Let's look at it and just see.
figure that out.
We appreciate what y'all do, we really do.
Okay.
But with us having the Boys and Girls Club here in Marion and Carbondale, they connected, I wanted to be able to spread it out more. Because this is not just for the city of Marion, this for all over. We have people come from all over. They come from Michigan, they come from Tennessee, they come from all over. And we have a whole lot of people here from Marion to be a part of this banquet. Thank you for your space and thank you for your time.
What was the date? What was the date again?
May 21st, I'm gonna leave a letter here for the clerk.
Okay.
It's gonna be May the 21st at the pavilion at 1 o'clock. Also, I didn't mention, I appreciate the council down through the years for sponsoring the building for us to go have the banquet. Would y'all do that again?
What's it?
For us to
Talking
have
about the pavilion?
Yeah, for us to have the
Well, have you already booked the pavilion?
Excuse me?
Have you already booked the pavilion for that day?
Oh, yes, I always
Well, what
would.
did they tell you when you booked it?
Okay. Well, he
What
just
did
put
they-
it on the book. I assumed it was done, but I just want to mention that. So you understand it.
Okay, I will have to check on that, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
Jared and I, we talked, because once the event is over, I book it for the next year.
Okay.
Only thing different in this year's banquet, it's been several years, we will go the 3rd Saturday instead of the 2nd Saturday of May, May 21st.
Have to check on that too.
Okay,
Not
thank you.
sure.
Thank you for your time, and I appreciate it.
Okay. I don't have a need for closed or executive session unless one of you guys do.
May I speak?
Sure.
How much is the late fee?
For you, limit it to 5 minutes, please, because you missed your time too.
Okay, just don't put me on the clock, I'm not gonna be here very much longer. I've talked to some people on 4th Street, so I promised them when I came to the council to mention it, because they've had people up here before. Apparently on West Cherry Street, at the end of it, in a parking lot that goes to the Refuge Temple, people are speeding, and maybe you could put some speed traps or have the church do it or something, because they're worried about people getting hurt there. So they.
Talking about the intersection of 4th and,
It's at the very end of West Cherry, I believe, and it runs into this street at the Refuge Temple at the very end. Anyway, it's at the end of 4th Street, there near 3rd Street.
okay.
Is that Cherry Street?
I think so.
Yes.
Have you noticed that, Miss Lynn?
It is, it's Cherry Street.
No, have you noticed the speeding issue that he's?
I haven't noticed it.
Well, anyway, they said that they've complained about it here, the council people have up here, and
if I was gonna go up here to go ahead and mention it, I said, well, I would, so that's what I'm doing.
We'll check into that.
Huh?
Excuse me.
Okay. Did you all address that, police report that I gave you about Guy Phepps the last time, about stealing on my property? Was that addressed here with the council in any way, any fashion?
I haven't.
No? Well, I sure wish it had, man. But the other thing, that's not the major reason I'm here. The major reason I'm here is because I heard some things on Valentine's Day at Smalls grocery store here on, I guess East Main, and I was in there and some guy, well, some person, I'm not gonna say who it was one way or the other, some person was working at the courthouse and we were just talking and she was just kind of jittery or whatever, but she said, we just got to talking and I said, well, she told me, she said about things at the Williamson County Courthouse being corrupt and all that kind of stuff. And I said, well, I'm gonna run for Williamson County Commissioner. And she said, well, if you do, you make sure you get plenty of names on your petition because Brent Gentry, he likes to discard them so people don't run against him. Now, that's what she told me. I don't know if that's true because I know you got to check names against the registry. But she told me that she witnessed him saying that's no good, that's not right, blah, blah, and throwing all these names out so people couldn't run against him. Now, that's what she told me. Do I know if that's true? No, but I thought I'd bring it before Jimmy then because it don't sound right to me. There's a lot of things about Brent Gentry that don't sound right about me to me anyway. But anyway, that's mainly what I wanted to mention. And I really don't need to go into anything else other than the fact that I'm going to run for Williamson County Commissioner myself, and I'm going to try to institute Christian values in politics. You all, had opportunities to do away with all the gambling and stuff here, but you go ahead and side with the enemy on that. That's not good for people. People are losing their homes and everything else, not feeding their families because they've got gambling addictions now. And I'm totally against the methamphetamine, the drug problem here, and I really want to see something done with the homeless problem. But there are other things too. I'd work with the state registry if I could, where I'd like to see property taxes totally done away with if you're 65 years old. I think if you retire and you're 65 years old, I don't think you should pay any property taxes. In Indiana, they've put a freeze on property taxes where you only pay like $1,000 per $100,000 home. Well, that's better than what we got here in Illinois. Like I said, it might just open a door where I can work with the state registry. I don't care. But what I do care is about people here in Williamson County. And I don't think we're being done right, our population. Because, it's just not being done right. The problem is people are homeless, and a lot of them is because they're doing drugs. And there shouldn't be any drugs, and they ought to eradicate drugs. You'd have to go after the cooks and the people that distribute it and the people that, I know they got to put everybody in prison that does drugs, but think about this, they shouldn't. Some people, like that Guy Phepps, a girl told me he was selling it to children. Now come on, that's unreal. You shouldn't be selling methamphetamine, a felony drug, to children. And by golly, the police department, the sheriff's department, Williamson County Commissioners, the Marion City Council, you all be getting together on that and trying to do something about it. People should not be selling drugs to children. And you all are in a place of authority that you can stop it. But you need to stop it. It's not right. That's all I got to say. My name's Jim Johnson. I'm going to go by Jimmy Johnson when I run. Bye.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, in the future, because you've started coming here again, that's the last campaign commercial you're going to get from us.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't know.
If that's what you're going to come up here and talk about, that's not
that's not what I came up here to talk about.
Come on.
Not mainly, no. What I mainly
That's all you talked about, and you're not going to do it again. You're not going to have
That's not all I talked about. You know that.
Okay, you've heard me though, right?
I did hear you.
Okay. All right, anything else to come before the council? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Barwick?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Okay.
Commissioner Stecklin?
Yay.
Mayor Absher?